Good afternoon. I'd like to welcome everybody to Williamson County Board of Commissioners meeting. It's Wednesday, March 27th. It's 1:03 p.m. Roll call, please.
Tim Atkinson,
Present.
Jim Marlowe,
Present.
Jim Razor.
Present.
An old business. These first two items, excess liability and Hope Trust, I'm still yet to be able to put together a good excess liability quote. I think we have a few issues with the insurance we still need to deal with before we can go there. And the Hope Trust Board, I'd like to remove both of these from old business, and whenever we can bring them up again, we'll put them on the agenda at that point.
Sounds good. I agree with that.
Okay? Do we need to vote on that, Fred?
No.
So let's strike those from future agendas. Thank you. Next thing is an amendment to an ordinance establishing a system for licensing of organizations to operate raffles and poker runs in the county of Williamson. You guys had the opportunity to read through this.
Mr. Chairman, the highlights of the changes are the Queen of Hearts being added, as well as the expiration date of 1 calendar year, as far as those goes, so. Everything else remains.
The filing fee for those applications are still $15.
$25 for the Queen of Hearts, and
That,
Poker
so
run.
that has changed.
that has changed.
Yes. Jim, I read through this. Have you read through this? Does that change what we did?
Yeah, I will point out, the clerk actually pointed one out now that I've scanned through here very quickly. I found at least a half a dozen typos.
It's the conversion, and I apologize.
And I'm just asking that it be correct.
We will correct it. It's whenever it went into, for whatever reason, the conversion from the PDF, the original, changed run into un or earn, or it's a variety of different interpretations.
Okay.
And so I saw some of those as well and was going to quietly handle those with them. Because for instance, on page 7, it says poker NIM, NM, but it's because the PDF recognized RUM as NM. So I can't win.
Okay, so we have a motion to accept this ordinance contingent on fixing his typos.
So
Second.
Ordinance number 24-03-27-03.
Tim Atkinson,
Yeah,
Jim Marlowe,
Yeah.
Jim Razor.
down to new business. I think this poker run license application for Adams PTO has been struck. We don't need to do that.
just authorize Stephanie to return the $15 fee that they paid. That'd
Okay.
be the only other.
Does that need a vote?
I think it would be appropriate.
Okay. I make a motion to return the application back to Adams School PTO for the application for the raffle and poker run license. Second,
Second.
roll call please.
Tim Atkinson, Jim Marlowe,
Yeah.
Jim Razor.
Travis, we have a few things for you up here on highway. You got to explain?
Yep. Okay, which one's first on the?
Jurisdiction is from county to city.
Okay, so, we are, so years ago, when the city, Franklin City Lake started, the city of Marion annexed a whole bunch of property down towards the new lake. And when they did that, they got jurisdiction of several county township roads.
Portions.
Portions.
That's important.
Yeah,
Portions.
it's pieces and parts. So you get 300 feet here, 1,000 feet here, a half mile here. And it all totals up to, little under 2 miles. And so then here recently, with the development of the sports complex, there's been some development in Skyline. And Tim has worked out a situation and deal with the city to take over part of Skyline, part of our county highway.
Just under half a mile.
just, yeah, like a little over 4/10 of a mile of the county highway. So that gets us out of the business of that intersection that they're gonna build. And quite frankly, when we lose county highway miles, it really doesn't affect our funding much. And we're gonna pick up these township roads, which really doesn't affect our funding that much either, because it's not that large amount, but it will be a little bit more money. And the roads are in decent shape. I went down and looked at them all in really decent shape. They've had them for 15, 20 years.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah, and so, they're in decent shape. So Tim and I met with the mayor and crew, and we decided that we'd take those roads back and then we'd take this road and, because they'd be annexed all that. And so they no longer want to drive the trucks down that far to take care of it. So we entered into an agreement with them, and, the city passed their ordinances on March 25th to give those back to us and accept Skyline. And I've got the mayor's signature on all this stuff right here for that. And then he has also, there's a form that I worked up and worked with IDOT to get all approved. They've signed these jurisdictional transfer agreements. And so in order to make this complete, there are two ordinances that need to be passed. And one of them is that we are giving up part of Skyline, and the other one is that we're accepting various parts of various roads and all the different ordinances there to take those over. So what's really interesting about this is when a municipality annexes a piece of property on the side of the road, they get the road. And I don't think very done this, they realized, and they de-annexed it and said, we can get it back. No, we don't really want them back in the condition they're in. So anyway, they had to come up with this, we come up with.
So this is a fair and equitable.
Oh, it's very fair. I mean, it's fair on both parts, you know. I mean, look, the city's already annexed all the way around the county highway out there, which you see on county highway when they annex it. They've annexed all around it. They're gonna be primarily involved with the Oasis roadway system. It's really a big deal. So that's where we're at.
Any other questions, concerns, or comments about this?
In fact, I'll say this, IDOT won't even approve this if they don't feel like it's a fair trade between the two. Yeah, IDOT, they'll say, hey.
They oversee it.
They do, yeah, in fact, there's a document here that the mayor has already signed, and then it calls for the chairman to sign, and then there's a place here for the director of highway state. So, actually, I don't know if that may be, but anyway, somebody very high level has to sign this.
Questions?
Brett, can I bring up the second paragraph of this again?
Of the 24/3/2765?
It's in both of them.
Okay.
I mean, as I read it, it says transferring of all existing public roads within the county of Williamson to the city of Marion. It doesn't delineate anything. Should that be a concern?
I read that 20 times. That's enough.
And I get the next paragraph defines it, but I don't know why that paragraph is needed.
No, and I know you had pointed that out. I think the change to that,
Brett, can I suggest something here? Reading the cities.
I would say attached listing of existing roads in that second paragraph.
We can change that. The city in their ordinance says, I will enter into an agreement with the transfer of jurisdiction and maintenance of the roads as described.
It's gonna be the same purpose, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the language in this one in the third paragraph says, all existing public roads shown on the attached map. So I think if you reference that same
Yes.
acceptance and jurisdiction and maintenance of all the existing public roads shown on the attached map.
Yeah, we can easily make that change.
I get where you're saying, is it necessary? But generally speaking, when you get into these whereas documents, you identify all the facts and then you finalize it with the therefore. So that's why it needs to point to those. The other question I had on this was, is this happening separate from the development P3, et cetera, documents, or is it supposed to be in conjunction with? Because those have not been executed.
I can't answer that question.
My understanding, this is separate. This is happening with or without.
This is gonna happen with or without that.
Okay, because I thought that's the purpose for the skyline element was for that. And so that's,
I think that precipitated, caused it.
That caused.
But I think the city really wants to get rid of this stuff down there. They don't have the type of equipment and manpower that we have to maintain. Everything they own here in the county, in the city now.
They have to
is
pay
asphalt.
us, they have to pay us to overchip it, right?
Well, yeah, they either have to pay us to oil chip it, and, and then to go out and build up the edges of the van. They don't even produce van.
I understand the south properties.
Well, there can't be the south without them. And they want rid of the south.
I fully understand and appreciate that. I'm just trying to make sure that we're not putting the cart before the horse on the other. So, because I think the other document references skyline.
It did at one time, and I think I sent you an email expressing that when this went through, that doesn't need to be in our agreement with the city anymore.
The only thing I can add to that is the mayor's son.
I heard that 3 times actually, you said. And then you said somebody higher up in an IDOT had signed off as well.
No, they have to sign. They have to sign.
So do you have that in Word or you might
Yes,
have that? in
Yvonne's
Word?
got it. We can
Okay.
make a change and we'll send it to you guys for.
Well, I would recommend that they make their motion to approve with the change being in the second paragraph, that it now read, whereas the County Board of Williamson County and the City of Marion will enter into an agreement for the transfer and acceptance of the jurisdiction and maintenance of all existing public roads shown on the attached map listing within Williamson County to the City of Marion.
Shown on the attached.
Map
And
/ listing within the County of Williamson.
okay, we can easily do that.
Well, that way they've got their
Yeah,
motion.
they can do it and then
They
we
can
can
do it, we can prepare the doc and it can be signed.
Back off. As soon as you get done, I'll take a picture and send it to her and she'll probably have an email that her one means.
All right, do you have a motion for this?
I'll make a motion then that we approve county resolution number 24-03-27-65.
As
What's that?
Contingent that we make the changes.
amended as I
As
indicated.
amended, right.
Okay.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Tim Anderson.
Yes.
Jim Marlowe.
Okay.
Jim Razor.
Okay.
Okay, then there's another one.
Yeah, we're gonna make the same change there, correct?
Make the same changes to that.
So
The next
any other question before I make the motion?
one.
Make a motion then that we approve county resolution number 24-03-27-66, contingent that the changes are made in relationship to what Brett Markey has suggested.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Tim Anderson.
Yeah.
Jim Marlowe.
Yeah.
Jim Razor.
Down by both of them.
Okay, Travis, you have a 60-day notice for property acquisition. That's going.
Yes.
I don't have any paperwork on that. You guys have anything?
I don't see any.
Okay, Well, so, I'll give you this guy, you guys can pass it along. You want to make some copies?
Let's have Stephanie make some
Yeah.
copies of it.
So, and while she's making that, I'll explain. So the Skyline Roundabout, we've got, it's either seven or eight parcels that we have to acquire to do the project. It's about a $2.5 million project. We've spent probably $250,000 getting the design done. And we've pretty much got agreements with everybody out there except for one property. Eminent domain is not always everybody's favorite topic. Occasionally, it needs to be done to move a project forward. This is a high accident mitigation. We have a safety grant from IDOT to build this, and we've got one property owner. We have made contact with, he's been talking to us. In fact, the guy doesn't live there anymore. We've actually moved in to offer him relocation benefits so he can buy a new place and out. We have contacted him, I'm going to say it, more than a dozen times. And since January, basically, he and his attorney will not. And so this is the way you get people to start the meeting. So the way eminent domain works in Illinois, I've been for 14 years with IDOT. You send a 60-day letter. At the end of that 60-day letter, you are able to file suit under eminent domain. We hope that just by sending this to get their attention, say, we're serious about this, we're going to build this project, please go for this. But I wanted you guys to know what we were doing. And the 60-day letter does not mention the relocation benefits. The reason it does not mention the relocation benefits is because we technically do not have to relocate by state statute. But to be a good neighbor and to make this thing go smooth, we have been offered relocation benefits, but he has refused to meet with us at this point. I think that may be changing as of today. Might be this, but counsel from Brett was that we probably need to go ahead and send it to this attorney to get him. So we're at. Don't enjoy it. Sometimes you have to do it.
That's very busy.
It is it's a very, I mean, Skyline is the busiest county highway. You've got thousands of employees that work at ISON that travel from Johnson City and Heron. This is a major bottleneck. It's a high accident location. I got identified it as such. Give us the money to build it. We've been working on the design and everything since I started this job 3 years ago. We just recently got the Corps of Engineers. I'm expecting to have the Corps of Engineers permit in the next 2 weeks, the 404 permit, which will free us up as far as environmental stuff goes. The only thing we're waiting on is finalized. And without this property, this project doesn't get it. So, and so just so you guys know, there's a major power transmission on the south side. Part of the reason we're impacted more than minimal is because that high line would cost millions to do. So the beautiful part about the design of the roundabout is you can shuffle the roundabout various different directions and make it fit where you need to. So we were able to shift it a little bit to the north and get away from the power lines and stay away from some of the utilities, which is the most cost-effective way. So that's part of the reason we're fairly close to these things. say, guys, I don't enjoy doing that. You know, when you got that many people using the intersection, it's high accident location. It's, in my opinion, it's the best design that's going to alleviate the problem, and it's the better one in this case.
Any questions, comments?
Just an FYI, we like the property. The feds, basically, when they give you this money, you have 10 years to use it, or you get paid back. So, you know, we got at least $250 million investment at this point, and we don't build it, we get to pay $40 million. So, get it back.
All right, any questions, comments? So motion to approve.
Make a motion then to approve the 60-day notice for the property acquisition on the roundabout. This says resolution number, I think so. Resolution, so I'll make a motion. Then we approve it. Second.
Roll call, please.
Tim Atkinson,
Yes.
Jim Marlowe,
Yeah.
Jim Reeser.
Thank you, Travis. You have anything else for us?
I think that's it.
Anything up?
I have a question for you, Travis. Concerning the road out there south of Grove Springs, we're talking. Who still owns the property where the front building? Does the city still own that? Oh, has it?
Yeah, and I think they are keeping, I think if I'm not mistaken, they're keeping the railroad.
Yeah, they're keeping some, but most of it's going back to the owner, or I think they had agreements when they bought it that it reverts if they don't. Go back.
The railroad line that comes out of Marion, Barrett Smalls, follows all through Rhode Island property. And that's the line that primarily got the roads. Then when you get down to Brown Creel, you'll see, it's funny, you look at these maps, there's strips of water across different parts of the road. They can actually end up making roads. That's what they got. That's what they annexed. So Tim, there are a bunch of these forms that I've got linked here that'll have to be signed.
Okay. Thank you, Travis.
All right, thanks, guys. Thanks, Red. Are you trying to do this?
You want this one too?
All right, moving on now to the next thing on the agenda, resolutions. Actually, we have a resolution for home taxes. You have anything to say about that?
The reason why you're signing it, or have to approve it, is because the due date in statute is June 1st. We're sending them out on time, but I honestly hate mobile home taxes and the late charges that are assessed to these people that are basically like a payday loan. So I'd like to give them an extra 30 days. So that's why the request is for the due date to be July 1st. And that way the $100 that can be assessed would essentially hit at the time when I would send out the delinquent real estate notices. And it would all coincide with everything else. It's $25 a month on a $75 bill or $40 bill.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I don't know why the state will not address that or change it.
We will change it. There is a motion to approve this resolution.
So moved. Go ahead.
Second.
Resolution number 24-03-27-67. Roll call, please.
Tim
Yeah.
Atkinson, Jim Marlowe,
Yeah.
Jim Reeser.
Yeah.
And Alex, you approached me some time ago about a resolution to support the House Bill 4512.
Sure. This is a resolution that's currently in committee and kind of looking like it's going to die there, but our association's asking for support from the counties throughout Illinois to remove the requirement to publish in the newspaper, the assessment change notices, and then in the general assessment year, quad year, everything has to be published.
This is last year's publication. If anybody can find their property before we're done here today, I would give them $1.
A whole dollar.
Yeah. Well, county official, a whole lot of money. But there's 52,000 parcels in Williamson County. It cost us $60,000 to print that last year. Over the last 5 years, it's increased. The last quad year was about $42,000. So it's going up to print this stuff. What this resolution is doing is supporting the bill that says instead of publishing in the newspaper, put it on your website. There's way more traffic that has access to that than there are newspapers. My plan personally is to put an ad in each paper with a QR code that links to that section of the website. That's not in this resolution, but I think it'd be good for Williamson County. So I know you guys just got this, but this is the resolution. I believe I sent the bill out a month or so ago. So you guys have any questions on that?
I see there's only one sponsor to it.
That's the way most property tax bills are.
Is there any, has there been any effort to try to contact our locals to see if?
I'm not on that committee. This is the representative that they found that was friendly with our lobbyist. Put it forward. I think there's quiet support. But like I said, it's probably on that committee at this point because they only have a week to get it out of today.
Yeah, they're on vacation this week. I mean, holiday this week.
So it's probably going to die, but it's a very good bill. I think our association will keep looking forward till it gets some traction. I mean, $60,000 is a lot of money in every budget.
Is a good chunk of money. Comments, concerns? Is there someone who wants to make a motion?
Move to approve resolution number 24-03-27-68. Resolution supporting Illinois House Bill 451.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Tim Atchison.
Yeah.
Jim Marlowe. Jim Reeves.
While we've got you here, Alex, could you tell us something about a solar permit?
Sure, I've got a permit in hand for a solar farm going in. It's in the Christmas Tree Road. In their discussions with me, they identified something that they would like to change, or at this point, I think we just need a head nod from the three commissioners. Our ordinance requires that, let's see, on-site power lines between solar panels and an inverter shall be placed underground. They have, and apparently the industry has changed over to like a tray system that goes between. It's enclosed, all the wires run in there. To me, that's going to be a better system if this goes defunct because we don't have to pull those wires out of the ground.
We'll make it a much cleaner decommissioning than those places.
Cheaper as well, I would imagine. But like I said, we'll just look for a head nod on this one and maybe amend the ordinance at some point.
We okay to make a head nod on this?
I'm not sure what your head nod.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
wondering.
To change from power lines underground to a tray that sits above ground.
Do we specifically list underground?
Yes. Yeah, that was your quote. On-site power lines between solar panels and inverters shall be placed underground.
His red had no get this.
Brett and I wrote the ordinance. And
Yeah, but I think if we're going to grant, so the question is, are we gonna grant a variance for this company or are we gonna change the ordinance?
The idea was to do a variance for this and change the ordinance
Okay,
going forward
so
because they've had.
I think we
this-
need to change the ordinance. We have to change the ordinance. Right.
yeah,
Do we give them a variance today?
well, you can't give a
We
variance
can't,
today.
because it wasn't. on-
So that if we're gonna change the ordinance to include both underground or some trace system, what I don't want to have happen though is if there's specifics as far as this trace system, so it's covered, but I don't think you want just bare wires looped from one panel to the next. So if we just say that they don't have to put it underground, you're gonna have somebody that's gonna say, I don't wanna have to put it in this, and I'm just gonna loop my wires, which is not gonna be a good
But you
situation.
said they changed the actual specs.
The manufacturers have changed,
Yeah.
but
The
they're not
industry-
changing the ordinance.
Changed, right?
Okay, what's the purpose of, running it underground? What's the main purpose?
I would assume to protect the wires.
Yeah, wires. Okay,
I don't know where we got that when we wrote the ordinance, to be honest with you.
so I guess my question then is, will that protect the wires equally as well?
I just think you wanna have some insulation value to the wires. I think
Yeah.
that's probably the reason for the underground element, is so that it's, a wandering kid can't come up and grab onto it. I know, but let's face
Very
it,
determined kid.
we have warnings on a mower that it throws
Yeah.
things.
I would like to check in.
Where do we pull that out? It has to be underground. Where did that come from? Is that like
It's on the draft ordinance from Taylorville, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's not a state requirement.
There's nothing that identifies the construction per se. I mean, we've got setbacks, we've got all of that, but
that's the only thing that the state mandates is setback.
right.
Can you find, does anybody else have a license for that? Have the trays? So you can
I'm
take a look.
aware of. They sent me the white sheets on it.
On the actual tray system.
Yes.
Keep full of those, and then
Let's see what we can do about
we'll
that.
draft up something that allows both, it's gotta be one or the other, but just not like I said,
But at least, yeah, until we become engineers.
I don't wanna be an
Commissioner, I don't know.
I don't have that act. Travis does.
Okay, will you get us some stuff
I
out
will
of
send you the white sheets that they sent me.
Okay.
And then we'll sit on this.
When are they wanting to start construction?
Don't know. I don't know what they really said.
I mean, it's not tomorrow.
June,
I was gonna say, I'm here like 3 or 4 weeks.
yeah.
Okay.
All right, then that's all the comments on that. Let's move on down. Miscellaneous, public comment.
Yeah.
No, we should make a public comment. Hearing none, let's move down to miscellaneous. Ashley, do you have ARPA today?
I do. First one is for Southern Illinois Coalition for the Homeless. This is for reimbursement of their homeless outreach, housing stabilization, admin and operating costs from September 23 through February 24. We've got everything broken down by month, what each individual portion is. Total amount's $25,211.70. That'll put them at $40,000 of the $75,000 to them. Next one I've got is from Marion Park District. This is the 60% down payment for the port and play surface to Adventure Turf LLC for the 3 playground areas and 3 different parks that they're going to be putting the service down for. Total amount of that is $30,504.00. And this one is for Lakeside Water District. This is legal fees for Bear-Timmy, Broom, Hughes, and Hoke for uncontracted parcels and remaining potential easements for their water infrastructure project that has been approved. That amount is $2,992.50. Last department one I have is for Franklin Williamson Bi County. This is for reimbursement for purchase of the two Dell Latitude 2-in-1 detachable mobile laptops. The invoice itself is $4,886 even, but they have $3,576.18 left in their award. So this will totally clean them out. So you'll need to add that one, but that's a completed project once this is done. I do have the mobile home bill plan that I need you guys to sign. Be able to send them out tomorrow morning.
When it comes to ARPA, I had Stephanie in process the city now. The letters to the recipients, those that completed, was in the process of completing the projects. As soon as we get responses back, we'll bring it to you guys. I have anything else for ARPA? Okay, well, I was just getting ready to ask. I have anything for this language, but yeah.
Yeah, a couple things. A while back, we were discussing, we had a couple phone calls, I'm sure we all did, about uncovered waste loaders, and I didn't know, did any more about that. We contact the city, Mary, or any other cities, or where we at.
I mentioned, I talked to the sheriff and he said he would send deputies out where they pull into the transfer stations. So that was it.
That's it.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. I don't know if we want to leave it at that, or we need to set a meeting with other entities or municipalities and see, check with them, or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't see any reason why we couldn't.
I thought the idea was to make sure that they were covered during the travel from, whether it be from one subdivision to the next, anything, any kind of, because I still see
Still
uncovered.
uncovered.
And not just when they're going into.
And there's two transfer stations.
So,
And Harry is working on something for another landfill.
so I'd like to recommend that we, pursue that, and, maybe something.
Jim, could you set that up for us? Appreciate it. Thank you.
Secondly, a countywide cleanup day again this year. I think, it was a great success. The last one we had, I can get back in touch once again with, transfer station and set that up. I didn't know, in the past, we used to have it twice a year. And this year, well, last year we did, I think the total bill was 4,000 total, which was really great and small budget. I think we need to get that again and maybe have it for like late spring, sometime in May, possibly. Your thoughts on anything like that?
I think that's time to get the word out.
I think that's the biggest thing is just getting the word out.
Have either of you received any calls?
I had calls and talked to people that really appreciate it.
I've only had two, but those people were pretty passionate about us
Yeah.
getting
So
spring cleanup.
I think they set it up where it was just everything just flowed. They had the help, everything. I think it was a great success, even though, it could have been a bigger turnout. I think all in all, what we did, and for the cost.
We might want to add a minimal amount to our budget to get a little more publicity on it.
Yeah.
And I don't have the answer for that, but just the thought that I think for that day to work, we need to get the word out better.
So let me work on that again. I'll get a hold of Gary, see what is available. Then we'll start maybe shooting for sometime.
Perfect.
The other thing I'd like to bring up is I'd like to resume our talks with him. And so what I'd like to do is get back in touch with Mark see if we just have some things. Pick up.
Sounds good.
Okay, you good?
So that's all I got.
Anything else?
I do not.
Anybody have anything on the site?
Do you want to discuss that TCC situation, TCC code and 1094, or do you want to talk about?
Yeah, we can. Yeah. You want-
Well, okay, so as you're aware, we had to request to submit a TCC code with IRS in order to file those 1094, 1095s and 1099s. So I'm an authorized user or agent, the three of you are, we received that code. So we're ready to submit those electronically. The question is in Amanda's office, Emily does the 1099s and Julie does the 1094, 1095s. They're not authorized users, so they can't submit those individually. So the question is would you guys like to make them authorized users to let them submit them? Do you want them to supply me the files and then me submit them on behalf of the county? The other question is also, do we want to have a professional set of eyes look at this information before we submit it in order to make sure that everything is properly in its place, and that we're not going to receive another letter from the IRS where we have to provide explanations. So I think in different areas or.
In this particular case, my concern, and actually brought this to me, was is that if it's entered, we may not know about this stuff. This that we owe them $500,000 in fees and things. And so I really wasn't big on anybody else having access to that. But if they did have access to it, I wanted another set of eyes to look at documents before we submit them, just to make sure that we're right. I have visions of the IMRF issue that we have loaded and just going to take a chance on that. So if we do that, then there'll be a slight cost. Take a thinking. The auditor can look at that. So is that pretty close to what we talked about?
Yeah.
But what do you guys think about allowing somebody other than Ashley and the three of us?
I don't care as long as it would improve the flow.
Can I ask a question on that? Because isn't it just gonna be a file? They've already put the information in, Mark's program.
Right.
Is it not just gonna be a file that's going, I mean, it's already in there. Is it just a file that's gonna be extracted from that?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sure there's going to be an export function that's going to create a PDF file. So, I mean, whether they hit the button or I hit the button, I guess I have access to that as well, to create the file and then we'll just, upload it into the system. But, again, I'm not the one entering any of that information in. So I'm not exactly sure. I mean, I know what they look like, but that's why I'm saying we have, another set of eyes.
I think it doesn't matter if we have an outside set of eyes and as far as who's getting the information. We have a professional.
We have somebody to look
service
at
looking
it.
at it.
And I'm
It
okay
doesn't
with
matter
her.
if we put it in or she puts it. And you don't want to.
Well, I thought we were talking about my employee, Julie, and I'm just saying throughout the year, they're putting that information in.
Right.
And then it's
So-
already there.
They're
And
going to still put it in. I mean, all I'm doing is just uploading it into the IRS.
and I didn't think there was gonna be a lot they have to do on there. I think
But
it's
if
just.
we have a safety net that we fall back on, we need to so advise looking at this before we submit it. I think.
Yeah, we could probably print it to paper maybe. I haven't talked to Mark to see what it's gonna look like on his end.
I mean, I don't know. That's
Because he was working on-
conversation.
I can check with him to see if there's something we can print out.
Check that.
Once the report is established inside the software, without saying every time.
It should. I mean, it'd probably be a one step, maybe this initial time, and as long as nothing changes in the statutes or requirements, it should be out the same thing.
I wouldn't think we need.
It should be an ongoing, but we obviously want to make sure that the first one is.
We usually get a report back from the state, but a lot of times it's because they've entered the information in and they hit the wrong number. So they'll send us like a list of ones that they say that doesn't match, like the address or something, or the social security number or EIN number is wrong. And we check our records, it might be right, they just entered it in wrong. So I'm guessing that this upload is gonna bypass a lot of those.
We just want to make sure it's, there's a number in box C, that's where it needs to be. It's not in box D or F or whatever else. I mean, we're creating an issue.
Just trying, we're having a situation that seems, like. Okay. So we gave you an answer.
We'll see.
Somebody have anything else? Are you ready to go home?
Happy Easter, everyone.
Make a motion to be adjourned.
Roll call.
Jim Atchison, Jim Marlowe.
Yeah.
Jim Rader.
Thank you all.